started.
Mostekin. I don't know. So e4. Let's see. I think I played a Sicilian recently, and how about a center counter? I haven't played that in a while. Probably should have played the French. That's another one I haven't played. Okay, but center counter. That's good. Get the main line here. Not bothering to try and hold on to the pawn, which usually works out to black's advantage if white tries to hold on to the pawn too strongly. But this is good for white. White can play c5 here and gain space in the center. c4, rather. Kick my knight. Hey, it's tough. I was trying to decide whether I want to play this move or not. e6. It blocks in the bishop. But I want to play the move knight to f6. I want to play knight c6, rather. And then after the pawn to c4 move, I want to place this knight back on f6. And then I didn't want to have to worry too much about pawn to d5 hitting the knight. So this little pawn on e6 helps defend the d5 square. That's the idea. So I get both of my knights out. And now I'll have to worry about the bishops. This guy is going to be a problem, which I'll have to sort out eventually, but I think I have enough time to do it. Let's see. There's a little bit of pressure on the d-pawn, but not a whole lot. It's twice defended, twice attacked. I have a nice square. I can develop my bishop out to b4 in the style of the Nimzo Indian. He can play his bishop to g5, yeah. So I'll break the pin rather than develop my bishop elsewhere. Don't like that knight to be pinned. I want to keep as much influence over d5 as I can muster. He can always trade and gain influence over d5 that way by exchanging. Okay, I'll castle. Kick the bishop and see if it wants to trade. Or retreat, or go to that square. Yeah, keep the pin on. So now, yeah, I need to open up a diagonal for this light squared bishop to develop. And he can bring his knight into b5. That's something to worry about. It's a very modest pawn structure here, very compact. There's potential pins on the e-file, so now d5, always a threat. I have to watch out for it. But for now, this bishop is adequately defended. The threats on the e-file are still veiled. There's a bishop there and a bishop there that coordinate. This bishop interferes with the rook. There's a rook here and a bishop here that coordinate on the e7 square. That's a concern. Okay, and but I always have ideas like knight to d5 myself, because knight d5 unveils an attack on the bishop. Knight d5, bishop takes bishop, knight takes bishop. Knight d5, pawn takes knight. Bishop takes bishop, pawn takes knight. Yeah, that's not good because of this knight here. So what to do? Maybe, yeah, I just want to, I want to get rid of this pin, so let's play the knight here. Maybe exchange a pair of pieces, that wouldn't be too bad. So if the bishop retreats, I can play knight to g5, hitting his knight. And creating a little space. Also removing a defender from my king side, so I have to be extra wary now. But knight takes, bishop takes, I get a tempo. So he doesn't play that right away. So I can take the knight with check. Right, I gave up control of the d5 square. I was mentioning that earlier. I want to keep control of that square. So let's see, knight takes check, bishop takes just brings this into focus. Okay, let's exchange pawns here. Oh, he took with the knight. I was expecting him to play pawn takes, so that makes it easier, doesn't it?
Check.
We'll kill this knight. Because if he took with the pawn, I would have to worry about what to do with my knight on c6. Might be an issue. But since he took with the knight, this gives me time, right? I move this knight out of the way and I can play bishop to g5 here, hitting his rook. And there's no immediate punishment for that. Well, he could play pawn takes if he wants to go that far. That's an idea. And I might eventually be forced to drop my bishop back to f6, where it'd be traded for this knight. Not a bad deal, though.
Server announcement.
Not such a bad trade. So he's thinking about this one. Yeah, good time to think. I'll check and see if we're still connected. I'm connected. Okay, he's connected. He moved. So my idea was to play bishop g4 here. I could also think about bishop g5 rather, bishop h4. Yeah, he's coordinating on this pawn. That's why I didn't appreciate that. His knight and his bishop attack this pawn. So maybe I have to play bishop here. So that was the point of his knight to d5 move. Now it makes more sense to me. He was trying to attack c7. But it looks like my mechanism of defense was adequate. Trade here with check and then trade. Put this bishop here. He's got nowhere to move his dark squared bishop. He doesn't have to trade. He could just leave it there and let me trade. He has knight checks, but I can deal with that. Knight here check. I take with the knight. Oh, yeah, maybe he's calculating this. This is interesting. Let's see. He took on c7. I was going to say knight here check, and I take with the knight, and he grabs my bishop, which is loose over here. Now, if I take the knight, he can take my queen, and I take back with the bishop. If he takes the bishop, I take back with the queen. So I think he just lost a piece there. Oh, he moved. Okay, well that's interesting. Yeah, like I said, c6 is a bit weak, so the queen is hitting here. Let's see, if I take the bishop first. Now I should save this is his idea maybe. Let's see, knight here to defend my bishop. He can play b4. So let's see, if I take his bishop, he takes my knight. And I could take there with check, winning a pawn. And then I could go here with check and win his bishop back. Right? So he has to take with the bishop. Because if he takes with the queen, I will just take back and be good. Let's see, if he tries to harass my queen, I can play queen to c7, defending everything. So I just took with the pawn. So yeah, then I just have time to defend everything. So I remain a piece up. There was some possibility there. But I think he had to try bishop takes knight as the only way to to get his material back. Because after I had bishop takes check, but he doesn't have to take the bishop, he could walk away. I guess that if he just walks away, then I defend everything. So I guess I would still manage to stay a piece up. Okay, let's see. He's got a loose rook on the back rank there. So let's target that. Okay. Yeah, let's put both my rooks in the center. I want to exchange rooks if I can. Okay, and he doesn't want to exchange. That's good. So knight here. Yeah, let's move the knight. Now that I got the rooks in the center, it supports the advance of the knight to some interesting squares. So now I'm threatening to just trade bishops and come in here to e2. Let's see. Let's kick the bishop. I need to get the bishop off of this diagonal. If I can. I've opened up a diagonal towards my king, so I was a little careful with that. Okay, but he goes all the way back here. Yeah, so he's carefully keeping e2 guarded. I'll play knight e2 check anyway and just
check.
Force the trade of at least the minor pieces. Then maybe queen to c6 here. Threatening on g2. And yeah, I guess I can trap the queen here. That's probably the best and most convincing way to play. He was real low on time, so he didn't have time to calculate all of this.
White forfeits on time.
Okay, interesting game. I will upload this and take a look at it in the postmortem. See you guys later. Bye.